I like how some people just start their video and they just start talking right away. I like to give people a few minutes to get here. I never show up on time. It'd be rude to expect others to. And there's Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer. And Jessica. Let me tell you, my life would be a mess without Jessica. She pretty much guides me through my day-to-day. It's spicy. I'll give it 2 more minutes. Time to get a drink. Join me. And see, Jessica says she misses me until I show up, and then she's like, oh my God, go home. I do have my zombie night, Jessica. So we got the wine, we got the fragrance, we're all ready. Like, it literally, I don't make this stuff up. Zombie night. I don't know what it smells like though. It's kind of like a warm amber mixture. If we start without Sienna, she's going to kill us. Which is pretty severe coming from a zombie author. I'm just saying. You think of fruit punch? You got me sniffing this all night now. Yeah. I guess. Fruit punch. All the way from Crystal Falls. Still think I like Screaming Goat better. Just because I want to tell people I'm wearing Screaming Goat when they ask me what that smell is. Has anyone read Margaret yet, or just going to be a complete first-time greeting? Alright, let's just go ahead and start. Sienna can catch up later. So we're doing the Risen Margaret tonight. Of course, this is the old cover. The new covers will be in pretty soon, so we'll have those available. Margaret is kind of a standalone, but yet gives more description to what happened that day when Helena took the angels to school. This is told from the point of view of the children that got turned into the zombies, so the children that were chasing them in the school. I wanted to do something a little different when I wrote Margaret. I wanted to kind of show that what we think of monsters isn't always monsters. It's all about perspective. I mean, these started off as just children going to school, and then something unfortunate and horrible happened to them, which started a whole little train of events. But in their eyes, they were never the monsters. They were just trying to survive and figure out what happened to them. And of course, as you read the series, you'll know that Margaret and her friends pop up throughout the whole series. She kind of haunts Helena. So Margaret, even though she is a side character, is a pretty big character all the way up to the end to Defiance. So we have to pay a little respect to Margaret. She does kind of shape the horrors of the book for being such a little girl. We're going to be reading chapter 6 through 8. They're short chapters. Hey, look, I'm talking to myself. That's cool. And it's going to be talking about how after she got the shot to all the way that she turned. I'm not going to go further than that because I want to leave that for you to read on your own. So, chapter 6. The loud ruckus does eventually attract the unwanted attention our teachers feared it would. See, right now they're lined up in the hallway waiting to go into the gym for their shots. So that's where we are. Our principal emerges from the secret chamber to explore the cause for so much chaos. His pressed pants and crisp linen shirt conflicts with the joy crashing against the walls. His look reels in the small celebration and a slow silence of a wave of awareness around him. Our teachers wear an expression of relief and embarrassment, with the feelings of inadequacy and needing his help with what is supposed to be their jobs. Whistle Woman just looks mad. I'd hate to be in her class, Mondays or not. Glad to see so many of you are excited for the vaccination this morning. His voice echoes through the hallway without effort, bringing our attention to him fully. It kills the joyful mood completely. Since you're already lined up and ready, we will begin to file in. Go ahead and remove any jackets or extra layers of clothing. This will help speed up the process. Once you have received your shot, go ahead and find your teacher and sit with your class in the rows of the bleachers. We're going to hang out for a while. He gives us the instructions with no more emotions than a fast-talking commercial for prescription medicine. Luckily, there are no restrictions to the shot, or we may have been here longer as the list was rambled off, giving more reasons to not take the medicine than to take it. Miss Lamb is wearing her confused look again. Something that he said has once again set off her alarm bells. Something that we as kids have not been picking up on, or maybe just ignoring. The adults in the hall exchange silent glances as each looks to another for hints on the private matter being discussed without words. And I wish I had one of those decoder rings offered in the boxes of cereal to help me understand what I'm missing. Mine would be purple, with pink lights to read their hidden code. That would so rock. My smile is completely misplaced with the mood around me, but I enjoy the thought anyway. There is no heavy metal machine set up for us to walk through, like Charlotte said. There are no people dressed in yellow plastic suits with strange hats, like Richard said. There are no men in long white lab coats with clipboards taking notes of our behavior, like Scott had said. It's just the school nurse, Miss Lacey, and a plastic chair. I guess it really is just a shot after all. I shrug with the thought, feeling a morsel braver. A morsel so small that even an ant wouldn't rejoice in its discovery, but braver just the same. There's an almost audible exhale with each child that passes through the pastel-painted gym doors. The painted mascot on the floor of the gym awaits to welcome us with its smile and overabundant cheer. It is obvious that the shy looks, but we are all starting to feel a little silly for so much panic and drama over a simple shot. Our giant train is segmenting as we pass section bleachers, just as with so many other aspects of school. We are well trained as to where each grade belongs on the many slanted rows of metal bleachers. Today is no different. We follow without any thought process to our area and climb the metal risers. Our shoes vibrate the walls with the metal echoes of our steps. Even with our newly found courage, we still glance over our shoulder to gain a better perspective of Miss Lacey's actions with each step that we climb. She sits among the plastic cases that appear to be filled with just as many small plastic bags. Her hands tremble some with each motion of preparing for their first class. She is having a hard time meeting the eyes of the principal as they hold a whispered conversation. It's almost charming to know she is just as anxious about giving the shot as we are to receive it. I've always liked Miss Lacey. She's very giving with her smiles, lollipops, and bright-colored Band-Aids, which are now stacked and separated in rows of matching colors. Her dark curls gleam with an overhead lights reflecting in their spiraled perfection. Her face, which normally fills the room with cheer, is dark and dismal with nervous energy. Her shoulders seem to sag today with a heavy weight, robbing her of the glow normally seems to always follow her. And I am not the only one who notices such a drastic change in our school nurse. Heads pivot from metal risers as we are climbing, one class at a time, back to her, watching her motions and trying to gauge the reasons for her new behavior. Courage evaporates like water from a boiling pot. It floats away like hot steam, fogging the room with our reoccurring doubts and dark thoughts. It is obvious she feels the many eyes boring into her with how she adjusts her body and squirms in the hard plastic chair. It's a pastel color, just as everything else is themed in this building. So much thought process was put into forcing cheer into every possible corner. Today, it seems rude and mocks the true feelings of its inhabitants. We are selected by grade level as to which class earns the privilege of going first. Days like this is when being in kindergarten is not as much fun as people let on. Our cuteness can only save us from so much. Adding the double whammy of Miss Lamb having sat at the very bottom of the tilted benches, forcing our class to line up first. It's just depressing. Being the second child in line, well, that's just unfair. Why didn't I take the back of the line when I had the chance? I asked myself. Our steps are the smallest they might have ever been in our short lives as we march to the waiting principal. He stands with folded arms and no welcoming posture at all. His eyes bounce to each child, and I know he is taking count of how many are lined up before him for whatever reason. His lips are pressed together so tightly that they are losing coloring from the pressure. His cold, businesslike demeanor is an extreme opposite of the smiling mascot's face which he stands upon. He has never been the spokesperson of hugs and comfort, but now he seems to still the joys from even our nightmares. There are no more words, no more speeches, no warnings of what is to come. There is just his sharp voice asking our names and marking it from the many crisp white pages on his clipboard. We are to stand beside him as the child before us sits in the chair beside Miss Lacey to receive their vaccine until his pin points us forward. At least that was the plan in his head. Teddy has a different plan in his head. Name. Principal's eyes do not even glance at Teddy, but prepare to play the hunt name on the sheets. The game never starts, though. Name, he calls again. This time his eyes do look over the clipboard, but they are still waiting. Son, what is your name? Teddy's voice and legs are locked as he watches the shot being pulled from its plastic prison. The smell of the awaiting alcohol wipe already perfumes the air with stomach-turning scents. The class clown is now the class leader, and he's not finding it funny at all. Fearing the reaction of our principal's no-nonsense attitude, Miss Lamb rushes to the front of the line. Her shoes click against the gym floor in her haste to save Teddy from the cold words that may fall upon his already frayed nerves at any moment. She whispers soft words into his ear from a kneeling position that stir minor reactions in him, but he's still not moving forward or offering his name. His fingers drum against his pants legs as he debates her words. There is no way out of what is ahead of him, but his face shows he is thinking of his options, of how to do it anyway. His wide eyes show he is in no hurry to believe whatever is being whispered into his ear, and the principal's tapping shoe shows that he has no patience for this delay. With an adjustment to the clipboard and his posture, I know Teddy has run out of time. This is when I hear something I never thought I would. Ever. Margaret Erickson. I hear my voice betray me. My name is Margaret Erickson. I never offered to go first, but with the brisk swipe of a pen, I'm now pointed forward. With a gentle, reassuring squeeze of my shoulders, I'm motioned forward. And with a drop of my stomach, I walk forward. I don't think my brain really thought this whole plan through. Teddy owes me his cookies from lunch. For real, is the pout-filled thought that fills my head. We are always told to not look. Don't look at the wreck outside the car window. Don't look at the TV when the music is scary. Don't look under the bed at night. Don't look in the closet after the lights are turned off. Basically, don't look at the monsters. Now the monsters are capped, pointed metal cylinder, and I can't stop looking at it. It helps if you don't look. Miss Lacey's voice hovers over my panic, repeating the very words I was just mentally debating. That's what they say, I reply, backing up her words with my small voice, but I still look anyway. That was a very brave and kind thing you did for Teddy, Margaret. She is roughly rubbing a spot on my arm with a cold, wet wipe. It smells like dread. I'm not feeling so brave now. My white knuckles grasp on my jean jacket, proving the truth of my words. It'll be over before you know it. She winks at me, but I don't feel the smile. Look at your shoes, Margaret, and tell me your favorite color 3 times. Blue. I feel the pinch of the skin to make a steady place for the needle. Blue. The sharp tip presses into my skin, making my toes curl with the sudden pain. Blue. My arm burns like wildfire, and I can't hold back the tears that invade my eyes. All done, she whispers, rubbing the spot of the torment. The pain trickles through my arm, making me clench a tight fist as if I can prevent the fire from spreading. She places the blue Band-Aid on my arm, but it brings me no joy, because I thought it would. In fact, I am too scared to look up and allow my tears to be the point of ridicule. Teddy is lucky to have such a good friend, Margaret. You are very brave. Miss Lacey rubs my back with more of a forward motion than a comforting gesture. It's the nicest way I've ever been told to move before. Both cookies, I tell myself as I stand. I glance backwards over my shoulder to see if Teddy is finally moving into the seat I just left, now that the tension has been broken by me going first. We lock eyes as Miss Lacey begins to repeat the same process with him that I just endured. Our eyes stay with one another until my neck hurts from holding such an extreme position while walking away. I'm glad to glance away before the needle is placed into his tender flesh. A girl is only brave for so long. At least this girl, anyway. Chapter 7. I was the first to sit in the plastic chair of pastel pain, and I am the first to sit back on the cold metal bleachers of boredom. That is what they become as we sit and watch each class line up along the center of the gym. It is what they embody as we watch each child call their name and walk forward, repeating the same process over and over again. And our irrational anger grows rapidly. It bubbles inside me almost as soon as I sat down. Now, with most of my class behind me, toes tap in solidarity of an emotion we can't explain the cause of, but something just doesn't feel right. Some names we remark on over whose older brother or sister that is. Some names we remark over their clothing choices as our anger mounts. Some names there are no remarks for at all, with no knowledge or memory of them. Mostly, each name is just another brisk swipe of a pen on a hidden tally secured to a clipboard. Each mark, just one more student down, and the tapping grows louder as others join in. I don't know exactly when it started or when the pain from my arm reaches my head with a lightning bright stab, dulling the noises around me. It's so intense that my eyes reactively close with each puncture of the pain. I almost swoon from the sudden heat that rips through my body. My mouth grows dry with it, as if the heat has evaporated all water from my body. I'm not the only one showing signs of this distress. Reactions creep up the rows behind me as if on a timer, colliding into each child with a punch. Teddy sits behind me, shaking his head slowly, back and forth in his misery. His breathing is hastened with his pain. He pants, unable to slow his breathing, and I watch him fall to the ground. Miss Lamb seems miles away from us. The gym floor appears to stretch to impossible lengths, pulling her further away from us than it should. I blink, trying to correct my vision, but the corners of the room start to grow black. So I do the only thing I can think of to signal that we need her. I scream. I scream so loudly that I stand with the force from it. I stand against the pain that seems to be shredding my brain and against the fire roasting inside me. I stand, watching Teddy bounce on the floor beside me with his body's jerking movements. I stand with my friends, and they fall like a deck of cards, floating slowly in the air, one by one, before they crumple to the floor. I stood to scream for help for those who are around me, but now I am screaming from the terror that is surrounding me. Taking an unsteady step backwards, away from what is happening on the bleachers, my ankle twists, unable to support me with my body's growing unease. The pain is sharp and almost refreshing as it blocks the pain in my head for a short span of a second. When the second is over, the pain rushes back, stronger than before, and I collapse from it. I fall to the cool floor of the gym and stare out at what is happening around me, unable to move anymore. Like a crowd, rolling reverse game of the wave, bleachers empty from sitting children to be filled with crumpled children. Small bodies jerk in various speeds, banging against the metal of the bleachers or the hard floor of the gym. Skin is splitting, and wounds are forming from the rapid, repeated abuse upon the fragile bodies. Red flows down the metal risers like a shiny slinky, pooling at the bottom in the steps in one thick puddle. One of those puddles forms around me, and I want to scream my terror at watching it as it grows to encase me, but I cannot. My vision bounces with my own motions, splashing the thick red blood into a film on my body. It applies a jerking effect to the running teachers through the red haze of my vision, as if we are sharing in our suffering, but we aren't. The gym is now divided into two sections. One section is full with the screams of teachers unable to move to help their students, with their own fears riding them to immobility, and the small amount of remaining students that did not receive their vaccine. Those students are being shoved behind adult bodies to protect them from seeing what is happening across the room. They are saved from watching the other section of the gym filling with their friends and siblings, beating their bodies to a ruin with the jerking convulsions and skull-smashing seizures. They scream for them nonetheless. There are too many breaking bodies. There are not enough teachers to help us. We have no knowledge of what to do to stop any of it, or what is causing it, even if there were. My body feels bruised from the repeated collisions against a hard floor. The heat is cooking me. I know it is. It is too hot to be doing anything less. Sharp, invisible fingers are tearing my head apart with razor-tipped, pointed nails. I almost hope it will break open from the heat and pain so it can escape to the floor, to swirl with the blood that coats it. Through all of this, I have no control over my body. I can't scream with the pain. I can't blink away the tears that fill my eyes. I am being forced to stare out blankly at so many eyes that are staring right back at me. Like the wave that started, the same motion ends it. The metallic sound slowly fades away as children grow still. Some of the blank stares retreat behind closed eyelids. Some stay open, but their color dims from the bright shades to dull, glass reflections, with the life leaving them. The screams retreat in pitches, also with the slowing of time as breaths are held in confusion and fear. The only sounds now filling the room are thick dripping of red rivers that flow from the shining metal steps into growing pools of darker coloring, a pool in which I now lie, coating one side of my body with a warm gel filling. The last sensation I feel before the room fades from my vision is a sudden explosion of pain in my head. Instead of the white hot light that pain sometimes causes, it strips my whole world of color. The room becomes shades of gray all around me. The grays become darker and darker as the heat overtakes me until there is nothing but blackness surrounding me. I know my eyes are still open with the raw feeling of needing to blink, but I can't see anything now. The last sound I hear is Miss Lacey calling my name. She sounds so far away and so sad as she rushes to me, her brave little girl. As I fade into the darkness, I'm happy to escape the pain. I'm defeated with it. The pain dissipates as achingly slowly as it built inside me. A part of me whispers that I'm dying now. But I don't feel any sadness with that knowledge. I'm only saddened that I never got my goodbye hug. I was never able to say goodbye. I was forgotten. Margaret, from The Risen. So there you go. Oh, forgot to scroll down. Can't even see you. Now I'm going to comment on everybody because I didn't see you. I'm so sorry. Okay, Paul, you will be happy to know that Defiance is being published in November. It's the last book in the series. It's going to change The Risen completely, and it's going to change exactly how I follow the series. And that's all I want to say because I don't want to give too much away. There's been a lot of hints. I've been hinting at a lot of things that happen in Defiance, but it will be released in mid-November. So I'm very excited for that. And I think I'll be doing a giveaway. I'm not sure. I'll have to talk to my wonderful Laura and some other people, but I think we're going to have some fun with it because we've been waiting so long for Defiance. I know, and I apologize. Hi, Sienna. Okay, now that I've scrolled down. Normally we do an update now. That's usually what we do about this time at the end of the videos, don't we? Think so? It's been a minute. Don't remember. We have Halloween, Abigail, coming out September 1st. It's for pre-order now. Hopefully it drops September 1st so we can get the Halloween feels going. Abigail Halloween has been like a dream to write since Abigail was first created. So I'm really looking forward to seeing her out. I hope to have one in hand so that I can read it when it drops on September 1st. I'm working on that. Might do a giveaway with her too. Because I love Abigail. Who doesn't love Abigail? I mean, she's adorable. And she has a pet zombie. We won't tell you what we feed the pet zombie because it's a children's book. But you know what I feed pet zombies. It's so spicy. Then, of course, like I said, we have Defiance coming out in November. Remnants comes out next month. And then Courage. And then Defiance. So every month a book will be dropping to catch up the series. Crown of Remorse. I know. I keep saying every time I talk to you, like, it's almost there. But it's almost there. We're just working, we as in me, and my wonderful ability to procrastinate. We're working on it. There's a lot of things I keep changing because I don't want Verona to be too Helena-y. But at the same time, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. She just doesn't have the AIM sidekick because, you know, we killed Rossi in book 1. Sorry. Spoiler alert. Great Expectations, same thing. We have no release date for that because it's only like on chapter 5, so sorry. But after November, I hope to keep up the momentum and have books published because it's fun. Sienna and I will bug you. I know you will. It's okay. I love you still. But I think that's it. Unless you can think of something. No. No. All right. The order form is up for the old titles covers. It's obviously all that's getting redone. And as I've posted, I'll say it again. Once they're gone, they're gone. You cannot legally get them reprinted. And why would you want to pay $900 to be scammed anyway? It's just not fun. It's not nice. So on the page, there's the Google form. Books are shipped every Wednesday. So whenever you order it, know that that Wednesday it will be shipped because I hate the post office and they hate me. It's fair. But other than that, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's start thinking about what to read next week, shall we? As always, love you.